Hello everyone, I am Doodlemanz 86 and today I am going to review the S.H Monsterarts Biollante Special Color Version. This big girl was brought back in the Special Color Version after being released in 2013 near the release of the line. The original figure was really good and highly praised, and I think it was about time this figure came back. She came back in 2021 alongside the GVK figures, and she is really impressive. She has the light gimmick, the huge vines, and the really big size. She was also produced by Fuyuki Shinada, hopefully I didn't butcher the name, who created the original marionette for the character. So let's see if this big girl is worth adding into your shelf and collection. Of course, I have to talk about the box before we get to the figure, and it's a really beautiful box. You have the blues reminiscent of that final battle, very dark blues that contrast the greens, earthy tone. I just love that. And Biollante's pose here is really neat. So really big box. I have to hunch over my table to show everything off. The side there with Biollante in gray. Biollante, nothing here on the sides. In the back we have our promo pictures, really nice. I never look at them though, I just unbox the figure. And here we have the bottom, really nice. So overall a really great box, definitely one worth keeping. Now that we can get to the actual figure, let's discuss Biollante's articulation. So, an interesting articulation system considering Biollante's build and design. So, we'll go over everything at once here. So, for the top of the head, there is like a small hinge, and that's the same thing for the jaw here. You can see the membrane on the side is rubbery, so you don't have to worry about that breaking, but yeah. There's Biollante's jaw for you. And then here, as I try to fit her on screen, we have a ball joint system in the neck. There is about 4 ball joints here. So you have one at the head, I believe. But you definitely have one here in the neck, another there, one here, and then one over here at the base that connects to the body. So she can look really high up and then really far down, very much far down. It's beautiful. And you have this little piece right here so she can stay looking up or stay looking down, cover gaps, make poses look natural, so really great piece. It's also slightly rubbery, slightly I say though, not very much so. Then we don't have anything in the body, obviously there's nothing at the body because she can't move, but here, if I can bring the camera down, we have the base of the vines, very huge stumps. They can move. They definitely move forward and back, kind of a little bit up and down. It's a little nudge, but they mainly go forward and back. And then the vines are all on ball joints. So from the base all the way to the actual head of the vines, it's all ball joints. But some of the vines are curved for specific poses, so like it's curved so the vines can look a certain way. So there is that. The actual vine mouths here at the tip are on ball joints. So you have the bottom on a ball joint, top on ball joint, but they act more like hinges, So that is the articulation for Biollante. Not a lot to say, but I do have to say that for the size and the design, it is pretty good. She moves really fluently, and I'm just happy that she can move. Really great articulation. Overall, really great articulation, and I'm happy with what we got here with Biollante. So moving on to the sculpt and paint, she was designed by Fuyuki Shinada, sorry if I butchered the name, who created the Biollante model who came into work on the figure. So I have to say this is a really great sculpt and paint. So starting up here at the head, we have that crocodilian-like face with Godzilla details. The top row spikes on the head, the huge eyebrows, really great stuff. Here at the eyes, her eyes are really gray, which looks really cool. She looks ghost-like, kind of playing into her origin. The huge tusks are really nice. The flesh membrane on the side is actually rubber, which is interesting. I don't know why they did that, as you can see. Really cool, though. I love that detail, makes the figure look lifelike. The inside of the mouth is very fleshy, you got all these pinks. It's almost salmon-like. And we have lots of teeth in here, very sharp, very jagged. Crocodilian-like scales here at the head. She's mainly a dark green with light greens and browns and darks all over her, kind of like earth color tones. She definitely has yellows there as well. At the base, browns, lots of greens, and she has a lighter green here at the tips of the grass-like shrubs coming off her back. You know, there's a lighter glossy green, which looks really cool. It looks really grass-like. And if we move on to the side and back here, you can see the Godzilla-like grass spines here. Really cool looking little guys. Well, these guys are little. They're really cool bushes and really look nice overall. Got a lot of spikes and thorns here. Also really cool. Like the yellow that goes alongside them. And lots of black sharp thorns. And here we have a bunch of vines covering a giant orange spiral-like core. Looks really cool. And the base is really thick with lots of vines and stubs. It looks really cool. And as we move on to the vines, there's lots of thorns and spikes. Lots of veins and vines going alongside. Really nice little detail. Got some sticking out of the vines here, which is really cool. Lots of spikes. And here, same thing as Biollante. Lots of salmon-like pink inside the mouth. The tongues. The jagged teeth looking like a Venus flytrap. Really cool. It's just sad to see that Biollante has cleaner teeth than her brother Godzilla over here. I mean, those things are just nasty. So overall, really great sculpt and paint on Biollante. It's absolutely accurate and faithful to the movie design, and it is easily one of the best I've seen in the Monsterarts line, an easy 10 out of 10. She's got at least 2 gimmicks going on, which is really cool to see. So obviously, I went over the fleshy gimmick membrane stuff in her mouth. The fleshy membrane, it's made out of rubber. Not something that I think really matters to many people, but here we have the inner core, which is orange translucent with spirals on there, and there is a light gimmick for that. So at the bottom of the figure, we have the battery component, which you will have to change when the batteries get old. But here we have the little switch. If you move it to the left over here with the 2 dots, you get a dark orange, and then if you move it to the right with the 1 dot, you get a lighter orange, and in the middle it stays off. So to actually show off that gimmick, I'm going to have to turn off my lights. There we go. Pretty dark set, you know. So now if I can find the switch, there we have the dark orange looking really nice. I like this color better than the light one. I think it works much better. So that's the dark orange, and then the lighter orange. Here it is. I really like it. I don't think it glows that strong, at least if there's light. If it's dark, it does glow kind of strong, but I feel like the darker is much brighter than the light color here. But yeah, there's the light gimmick for you. Really cool. I'm really happy they added this. It adds something to the Biollante figure, and I think it's a really nice gimmick and feature that was put on this Monsterarts figure. Definitely makes worth picking her up. So now that we can move on to size, she is about 7.2 inches tall. So now that we can move on to size comparisons, here's some S.H. Monsterarts figures. Some S.H. figure arts. And then a few random figures you might have. She is really big, commands a lot of shelf space, and I'm really happy to say that she isn't super big, so she will fit amongst other figures, and I feel like she scales really well with the Heisei Monsterarts in 91 figure. I'm sure she scales really great with the appropriate Godzilla that came alongside her, so I definitely recommend picking her up. She will be pretty big, but not super big, so happy to say she's a pretty good size. All in all, the S.H. Monsterarts Biollante Special Color Version is awesome. It's a heavy price to pay, but a really great figure overall. She's about $294, and she kind of fluctuates around that, you know, $300, a little more, a little less. But overall, I really do love this figure. The sculpt and proportions are really great. I really like how she scales well with other figures. Really great size. Very accurate sculpt and paint. The level of detailing in here is insane with all the little vines, holes, all the spikes and thorns. Lots of really great colors chosen here. Looks really vibrant without being bright. But that's where you have the inner core inside her with the bright orange. Really great stuff. I like the natural and earth-like feel to this figure. Fits really well with other Heisei monsters, if I had any. And for a large and heavy figure, she is also super articulated. Moves really great. No articulation in the body, but that is made up for with the head and the vines. Really nice overall. The added light gimmick is pretty great, and the poses you can pull off with Biollante here are pretty sweet, and you can even make her eat Godzilla's head. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.